Hello and welcome to another update video for Archaeology Rush. This is the update video for the 22nd of October. Um, right, so today I'm actually going to talk about something outside of the game. And I feel like this potentially is a bit of a kind of uh, dodgy area, like people get apprehensive around this. So I thought the best way to counter that was just to be upfront. So in this, we're covering today the telemetry that was added to Archaeology Rush this last week. So before we jump into that, I just want to update on where we're at with the demo. So I'm currently pushing through working with Steam to get the playtest approved. And so in theory, we should be able to get things testing um, from next week, which means that we will have, just a bit of iteration time because I've got something exciting planned for then. But it all relies on getting the build approved on Steam. So, with that aside, I want to show you the dashboard for Archaeology Rush. It's kind of a bit of a um, sort of demo, and just to say, all the data that's on here is my data, and there's no kind of identifying data. This is actually something that I've done many AAA games. I say many. I've done it for three. But um, yeah, so I've actually set up telemetry for three AAA games. I say set up. I don't mean set up parts of telemetry. One of them I've done a major telemetry system, and then two of them I've just worked with the existing system. I have done telemetry in some form for those games, and in that sense, I wanted, now that this was going out to be play tested a little bit more amongst my friends, to be able to track kind of what's being played and verify that things are working. So, um, essentially, I will just show you, we're going to explore this data. So this is Azure Data Explorer, and so this is where this is wired into. Um, and so we're exporting data out to essentially a big fancy database. And we've got six events, right? Seven, can't count, ignoring example event. And so let's use the on game started event. So this is basically, I should rename this on profile started. And what we're essentially doing is, the way I've written this telemetry system is there are two parts. So we've got, well, we've got dates. Everything is fired in a kind of event. And so this event is on game started. And essentially we have events and fragments. So events have like data. So in this case, it's like, are we starting a tutorial? And then we have two fragments here. We've got the user fragment, and that just has some basic like anonymous identifiers, and a section identifier. Like, I don't keep an account for people who play the game, but I do need to know if it's a single person. And so we basically gather a load of bits of data and store it so that we know that it's one singular person. And then we also generate a single identifier for a session as well. And so that's how we can link all of these events up. And this exists in our user fragment. So, yeah. And then we've also got the profile fragment, which is the name of the profile. I don't think this is massively useful, but I like it. So, yeah, I don't know why I added it. It just made sense at the time. And then we also have a similar on game end. It just tells us that the game session's ended, so I can work out how long a game session is. Like by matching up the session identifiers, I can basically track how long. And I think we'll write that in here. Um, but yeah, and then we have on to finished, uh, which has the winner of the tomb and some unique tomb information. And then, so on tomb start, on tomb finish, on chamber loaded, and on chamber completed. With that, we can generate these graphs. So we know how many tombs are started, how many tombs were completed, how many chambers were started, how many chamber levels were started, as in like that was a clover room, a donut room, a slide room, all of that, and this tutorial rooms here. And then we can also see how many of those were actually marked as completed. How many modifiers were used. Now, modifiers are actually not going to be in the demo, but they will make an appearance at some point. And then how many treasure pools have started. So we've got the bronze pool, the AC pool, the silver pool, and then the gold pool. So yeah, this is kind of a foundation. I'm of course going to add in different bits of data, but I want to show you basically what we can do with this. So if I jump into edit mode, and if we go, whoop, we want to add in a tile, and we're going to take our events, this sort of a query that I've already made. Let's just move the mic, it's probably going to make an awful sound. And we want to essentially go, right, we want our event name to equal on tomb started. I can never remember what it is, so let's check this. We can run the event here, and this is all our on tomb start events. And then we want to go, right, so we want to use our on tomb start to then go, right, let's grab we're going to extend out the set the unique tomb identifier. Are the same in each case? I think so. Wait. Unique tomb identifier. No, it's different. So we want to get our unique tomb identifier. So tomb ID equals. So here we go data. Then we've got our fragments. Actually, we can just grab the fragments directly. We can go tomb fragment. And we've got our unique tomb identifier. Right, so that will give us our tomb ID right here. Lovely. Now we want to also do this for on tomb end, so we'll just make this go let tomb. Well, jump the gun. Tomb start was right, and then we'll also do our on tomb finish. Make sure that that also is valid. Lovely. Cool. Then anybody who's done Database 101 will know we can join tomb start to this query on left dot tomb ID equals right dot tomb ID, which is great. Annoyingly, I make this mistake every time. We need to just make this a string so it can be compared. Whoop. Cool, and that will give us every tomb that was completed. Got tomb ID, and then it's matching tomb start. Right, and then what we can do there is we can go project tomb. We can project our duration. So this is the duration that it took. And we're going to use timestamp minus timestamp 1. And that will give us a time. And so then we just need to average that. So we go summarize, average, duration. That gives a single number. And we can take that number and make it a stat. Select to do the duration. And we go average to completion time. Wow, lovely. So that basically is what we can do with this. So essentially, I can use it to track kind of how long I want tombs to be playable for, and kind of what what we're actually doing with those tombs. So I can expand that in the future as well. But yeah, so this is some of the telemetry. Hopefully, if more people play, I can kind of take this telemetry, and I've always loved doing this in previous personal projects I've made it. I love it when I do it, and we do it with stuff that I work on, where we essentially go, right, let's just gather a load of stats and just send it out. Because I don't know, I didn't expect to be kind of a stats person when I got into game development, but yeah, I I think it's really fun just looking at the game being played, and so the more we test, the more we can kind of look at the game being played and show that off. Um, but right, that being said, I will let you go. But hopefully next week we've got an update on the latest work on getting some playtests out there. I've got a plan that I'm hoping pays off by next week. Um, but if not, it will have to be the week after. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And if you don't see a video next week, assume it's all gone to shit and we're working on the week after. I expect it probably has because I'm away for 5 days next week as well, which I've just realised. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful week, if not two. All right, bye.